They won't announce it on the news. There won't be fireworks, no warning bells, no countdown clock. But right now, something quiet and powerful is happening behind the scenes in the silver market, and the people who understand it are positioning themselves before the shock hits. While most are scrolling, distracted, and reacting to yesterday's headlines, a rare opportunity is forming that could change lives. Silver isn't just moving, it's tightening, compressing, building pressure like a spring ready to explode, and when it releases, it doesn't ask for permission. I remember sitting with an older investor once, a man who had lived through multiple crashes, booms, and financial storms. He told me something that stuck forever. He said wealth is never built in moments of comfort. It's built when fear keeps others frozen. He said every major fortune he made came from recognizing what was scarce before the crowd realized it mattered. Back then, it was real assets. Today, that scarcity is silver. Not hype, not speculation. Real, physical, increasingly hard to find silver. Right now, industries are consuming silver faster than it can be mined. Solar panels, electric vehicles, medical technology, electronics, all of them depend on it. Yet supply is tightening, and when something essential becomes rare, price doesn't rise slowly, it jumps. That's how history works. Here's what smart investors understand that most people don't. Money loses value over time. Assets gain power. Every currency eventually weakens, but real resources always survive. Silver has been money for thousands of years, through empires, collapses, wars, and rebirths of nations. It doesn't depend on promises. It doesn't disappear when markets crash. It simply waits. One young entrepreneur I met years ago started buying small amounts of silver every month instead of upgrading his lifestyle. While friends financed cars and chased status, he quietly stacked assets. When inflation surged and markets shook, his purchasing power grew. He didn't panic. He had leverage. That discipline gave him freedom. Not overnight, but steadily, powerfully, permanently. That's the secret most people never learn. Wealth isn't built by chasing fast money. It's built by owning what lasts. Think of silver like planting a tree. At first it feels slow, quiet, almost boring. But beneath the surface, roots are spreading, strength is forming, and when growth happens, it happens fast and strong. Those who plant early enjoy the shade later. Here's a simple strategy powerful investors use. They don't try to time every dip perfectly. They build consistently, a little every week, a little every month, turning income into assets, turning effort into ownership, turning today's work into tomorrow's freedom. Another micro shift that changes everything. Stop thinking in price, start thinking in ounces. Price fluctuates, ownership compounds. The goal isn't guessing tomorrow's number. The goal is controlling more real value over time. And when fear hits markets, that's not danger. That's opportunity. That's when assets go on sale for those with courage and preparation. Right now, many are waiting for confirmation. But confirmation always comes after price moves. The biggest gains happen before the crowd believes. History shows it again and again. Those who bought gold and silver before inflation spikes protected their wealth, while others watched savings shrink. Those who understood supply shortages before headlines exploded positioned themselves ahead of massive moves. Silver today sits at the intersection of money, technology, and scarcity. It's not just an investment. It's a strategic asset for the future economy. Action starts simple. Educate yourself daily. Own physical silver when possible. Be consistent, not emotional. Think long-term, not headlines. Build assets quietly while others consume loudly. And most importantly, shift your mindset from spender to owner, from short-term comfort to long-term freedom, from reacting to planning. Because financial freedom isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and what you turn it into. The coming years will reward those who prepared, not those who panicked. Silver is giving a rare window. Not forever, not loudly, but clearly for those paying attention. If this message opened your eyes, if it gave you clarity, if it made you think differently about money and your future, support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing this with someone who needs to hear it. Together we build smarter, stronger, and freer futures, one smart decision at a time. They won't announce it on the news. There won't be flashing alerts, no urgent speeches from politicians, no dramatic countdowns on financial channels. But something powerful is happening quietly in the silver market right now, something that historically only happens before major wealth shifts. While most people are distracted by daily noise, scrolling through headlines that disappear in hours, a rare window of opportunity is forming for those who are paying attention. Silver is tightening in supply, increasing in real-world demand, and building pressure like a storm cloud gathering energy before a downpour. Moments like this are where fortunes are shaped, not when everyone feels safe, but when opportunity hides behind uncertainty. I once spoke with a retired engineer who had lived through inflation waves, market crashes, and economic resets. He told me the biggest mistake people make is waiting for proof instead of preparing for probability. He said every time he waited for confirmation, the price had already moved and the opportunity had already passed. But every time he positioned himself early in assets with real value, he protected his wealth and multiplied it. Silver was one of those assets that never failed him because it wasn't built on promises or paper systems. It was real, tangible, and always needed by the world. Right now, silver isn't just a precious metal sitting in vaults. It is the backbone of modern technology. It powers solar energy, electric vehicles, smartphones, medical equipment, and advanced electronics. Every new innovation quietly consumes more silver, yet mining production struggles to keep up. You can't print more silver the way governments print money. It takes years to discover, develop, and extract. When demand keeps rising and supply stays tight, history shows prices don't rise slowly. They reprice suddenly. Most people are taught to save money, but very few are taught to preserve purchasing power. Inflation slowly eats away at cash, silently reducing what your hard work can buy. Assets like silver act as a shield. They hold value when currencies weaken. For thousands of years, silver has survived every financial system humans created. Kings rose and fell, empires collapsed, paper money came and went, but silver remained valuable through it all. I watched a small business owner begin shifting part of every paycheck into precious metals instead of leaving everything in a bank account. At first, it felt insignificant, just a few ounces here and there. But over time, those small decisions stacked into real security. When prices of food, fuel, and living expenses surged, he wasn't stressed like everyone else. His assets rose while others struggled. That calm came not from luck, but from preparation. Wealth building isn't about giant risks. It's about consistent, smart choices repeated over time. The most powerful investors don't chase hype. They quietly accumulate assets when they're ignored. They understand cycles. They recognize scarcity before it becomes obvious. Silver right now sits in that quiet phase where the foundation is forming before the crowd rushes in. One of the simplest strategies is thinking in ounces instead of dollars. Prices move up and down, but ownership stays. Each ounce you own is a piece of real value that can't be erased by inflation, market crashes, or digital failures. The goal isn't guessing the perfect moment. The goal is steadily converting effort into assets. Another mindset shift is seeing market fear as opportunity. When headlines scream panic, that's often when the smartest investors are buying quietly. History rewards those who stay calm while others react emotionally. Silver is unique because it blends wealth preservation with future growth. It protects against inflation while benefiting from global technological expansion. It is both a store of value and an industrial necessity. That combination has created massive price moves in the past, and every indicator shows pressure building again. The people who win financially aren't always the smartest or the richest. They are the most disciplined. They plan while others spend. They invest while others wait. They prepare while others hope. Right now, the silver market is whispering opportunity before it starts shouting. Those who listen early have always been the ones who benefit the most. Most people think wealth is built by earning more money, but real wealth is built by turning money into assets that work quietly in the background. Silver has always been one of those silent builders of financial strength. It doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't trend on social media every day. But when economic pressure rises, it becomes one of the most powerful tools for protecting and growing purchasing power. There was a teacher I once met who never made a massive salary. She wasn't flashy, didn't chase luxury, and didn't gamble on risky investments. But every month she converted a small portion of her income into silver and other hard assets. Over the years, those steady decisions created a financial cushion that gave her freedom of choice. When inflation surged and living costs exploded, she wasn't forced into panic or debt. Her assets adjusted while her neighbors struggled, and that quiet preparation became her peace of mind. Silver rewards patience more than excitement. It grows during moments most people ignore. While crowds chase quick profits, smart investors accumulate what the world will always need. Every smartphone, every solar panel, every modern machine consumes silver, yet the supply remains limited. That gap between rising demand and tight production is where value is created. A powerful habit is automating discipline. Decide in advance to invest consistently regardless of headlines or emotions. This removes fear from the process and builds wealth naturally over time. Instead of asking if today is the perfect moment, focus on long-term ownership. Another key principle is diversification of real assets. Silver complements gold, property, and other tangible investments, creating balance when markets swing wildly. It's like adding shock absorbers to your financial vehicle. True financial success isn't about timing the market perfectly. It's about staying in the game long enough for smart decisions to compound. Silver allows ordinary people to build extraordinary stability through consistency, patience, and long-term vision. Every major financial breakthrough begins when a small group sees value where the majority sees nothing special. Silver has always moved this way, quietly ignored before suddenly becoming the center of global attention. Those who understand this pattern don't wait for excitement. They prepare during calm periods when opportunity is cheapest. I once heard an investor describe silver like a coiled spring. The longer it's held down by market pressure and neglect, the stronger the release becomes when reality finally catches up. For years, silver has been undervalued compared to gold and compared to its growing industrial importance. That imbalance doesn't last forever. One of the smartest moves anyone can make is shifting from consumer thinking to ownership thinking. Instead of spending every extra dollar on temporary pleasure, redirect a portion into assets that hold value. Over time, those choices create financial strength that no paycheck alone can provide. Silver also teaches patience and emotional control, two traits shared by nearly every successful investor in history. Markets will fluctuate, headlines will scare, and opinions will change, but disciplined accumulation builds lasting wealth. When you focus on what you own rather than what you fear, your financial future becomes calmer, stronger, and more predictable, allowing opportunity to compound quietly in the background.